Two bears, one cave.
I used to be a writer on the Ellen DeGeneres show, which we can get into later.
Yeah.
And so they asked me, it was St. Patrick's Day, and Ellen asked me to dress as a leprechaun and come out on stage. And this is where, yeah, if you're wondering the low point of my career.
When you say she asked me, you're like, this is not a request.
It wasn't a request.
Yeah,
I had to do it.
Yeah. You're doing this.
And so, and you know, sometimes your career is so bad that you really think like, oh, this is a good opportunity. I get to dress up as the leprechaun today.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting backstage about to go out onto the stage, and Angelina comes over and she sits in the director's chair 3 inches from me. And she goes, she looks at me and she starts laughing. And I felt like the guy, remember in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, when the guy is in the car and he's dressed as a pirate, he's delivering the food, and he's eyeing this girl in the next car and he's smiling at her, and then she starts laughing and he realizes how he's dressed.
Yeah. That's what you feel. Yeah, it's the worst feeling in the world. It's so humiliating.
Oh, God.
There you go. Yeah. Wait, I got to ask you, because it was like such big news and entertainment.
What?
With Ellen.
Oh, yeah.
Show. What was your experience?
My hands are a little bit tied because I signed a non-disclosure agreement when I worked for the show, but I can talk about it in the sense that we've all read the news.
Yeah.
And I can say that there's a writer's thread that's going, that I'm on, a text chain of writers that could be published as a book because it's so fucking funny. The joy, the pure joy on 100% of the faces of people that have worked there.
This is happening.
This is no joke. This is no like, a couple disgruntled people. No.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And does it, the fish stinks from the head? It's like, it's all somebody's fault, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean, look at your crew. Look how fucking happy everybody is here. Like, I actually think about the way you guys run your podcast studio and how people will work so hard for you when you're just decent to them.
Yeah.
And they're doing it for the right reasons. People don't work hard when they're being treated cruelly. They work out of fear. So it's never their best work.
Damn. Yeah, that's so true.
You're afraid to step up a little bit and do a little extra because you can actually, if you do something a little bit off, you're fired.
Right.
So you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
And not even stepping an inch outside the line.
Right.
Yeah, that's scary. It's sad.
Yeah.
And it's also wildly unnecessary, right? Like when you hear these stories, you're like, well, you know that you don't have to be this way.
When you make an employee get in a leprechaun outfit and he's Irish, that's just cruel. That's racism.
Yeah.
I think why wouldn't that be? Think about other races. Would you have taken a Chinese employee on the Chinese New Year and put him in one of those big pagoda hats and made him dance to gong music?
I mean, I wish we had one, but no. Man.
I mean, like Black History Month, would you take a black employee and dress him up in like native African garb?
No. I definitely would not. We have a very nice black man here, and I would never disrespect you like that. Fuck no. No.
You know?
Yeah, but there's that thing where I think you go like, oh, he's Irish. We can definitely fuck with the Irish guy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just like the Italians, you'd be like, yeah, let's pour marinara sauce on his head. Who gives a shit?
I would say Irish is probably the like if you think about what races, for instance, I could call somebody an Irishman, a Frenchman.
Yep.
Don't say Chinaman.
Cannot.
I can.
You can do those accents too.
Right.
Irish, French.
Not the Chinese one.
That doesn't, I mean.
No.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
It's always funny. That's the thing. You hear the Asian like comics do it, Margaret Cho, Bobby Lee. It is hilarious to hear Bobby do an impression of his father.
Nothing
but it's
better.
one of those things, it's got to be from him.
Right.
Right? Like, yeah.
But Irish, you can certainly make fun of our accent.
Yeah.
You can make fun of us being alcoholics, which is a fucking tragic disease that has ruined my family. My father died at 52, but it's a fucking running joke. You can make fun of us being pedophile priests.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one too. It's like sometimes, you meet people, right? And I don't know, it just comes up and they'll be like, what about you? How were you raised? And I'll be like, Catholic. They're like, oh yeah, did you get fucked? And you're like, what? Like right out of the gate. Did you get fucked when you were a little boy? And you're like, no. Thank you. It's nice to meet you. And you're like, God.
Any other follow-up questions to that?
And they're like, I know you grew up with a bunch of molesters around. You're like, no, not everyone was like that. But yeah, no, that people feel totally free to do that. You can't say that shit. That's like the only thing that people feel totally comfortable saying. Like if your religious belief is such, or if you were brought up a certain way, you don't say that shit. Like you meet a Muslim guy or a Jewish guy, you're not like, you don't go right to the worst.
Right.
Like people would be like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
But if you say it to a Catholic person, everyone's like, yeah, you guys get fucked.
Right.
And you're like, all right, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call two bears, one cave.